For millennia, the ruling family controlled the main planet of the Empire, known as Motherworld, but their strong desire for power made them take everything in their world. Trying to spread their control, they sent armies to conquer faraway planets. However, their rule suddenly ended when the king and queen were killed. Seeing a chance, the quiet planets wanted to start a rebellion. In response, Senator Belisarius became the leader and quickly sent his toughest soldiers to stop any uprising. Far away on the planet Velt, Farmer Gunnar goes to where Cora is working hard. It's evening, and the villagers have gathered for a dinner party to celebrate a hunter who caught a snow moose. Later, they notice a big Imperial ship in the sky. Cora, who lost her family in a war, quickly recognizes it. She rushes to ring the town's bell to warn everyone. Sindri, the village leader, gathers the people to discuss what to do, while Gunnar suggests being friendly to the soldiers, thinking they might buy their grain at a high price. Cora strongly disagrees, saying the Empire takes things by force and leaves destruction behind. They argue, but before deciding, the Imperial ships land near the village. Admiral Atticus meets Sindri, hugs him, and reveals their mission to find rebels led by the Bloodaxe siblings. He also asks for food for his army. Sindri makes up a story, saying their soil doesn't produce much and they barely have enough for themselves. Not believing Sindri's explanation, Atticus questions the villagers' well-fed appearance. Gunnar steps in, explaining that Sindri's actions were meant to save food for the upcoming winter. He offers to sell provisions to Atticus at a fair price. Atticus, furious at the deception, uses his cane to brutally attack Sindri, leading to his death. When Sindri's wife tries to intervene, a guard mercilessly kills her too. Afterwards, Atticus announces he'll be back in 10 weeks to take the entire harvest, showing no concern for the villagers. He and his fleet leave, leaving Faunus and some soldiers behind to keep an eye on things. Private Ares activates Jimmy, a robot that used to serve the king. After the king's death, the robots stopped fighting and now help with simple tasks. As Jimmy assists the soldiers in moving their things, Marcus decides to test rumors and shoots at the robot. Jimmy, without defending itself, falls to the ground. Ares steps in to stop Marcus, putting himself at risk. Faunus intervenes to prevent further trouble and instructs Marcus and Ares to go back to their tasks. After checking that Jimmy is not damaged, Faunus tells the robot to clean off the dirt. At the river, Jimmy is washing its face when Sam approaches. They become friends, and Jimmy shares its sad story. Jimmy explains that Sam reminds it of the Empire princess, who was killed by traitors along with her parents. Sam tells Jimmy that the princess lives within him and gives Jimmy a flower crown. This activates something within Jimmy. Meanwhile, in the town hall, the villagers discuss their next steps. They decide to work hard to show the value of their harvest, hoping to avoid the Empire's harsh consequences and keep producing food. Feeling discouraged as her warnings fall on deaf ears, Cora becomes frustrated and starts packing her things, contemplating leaving. Hagen, the man who rescued her when her ship crashed on this planet 2 years ago, tries to convince her to join the rebels to protect the village. However, Cora refuses, believing they have no chance of winning and that it would lead to a devastating massacre. Later in the evening, Marcus and 2 other soldiers kidnap Sam, planning to exploit her for the squad's benefit. Despite hearing Sam's screams, Cora forces herself not to intervene. Ares tries to defend Sam but is outnumbered and overpowered. Soon after, Faunus arrives and claims ownership of Sam, but Cora interrupts with an axe in hand. Faunus orders his men to capture her. Initially pretending to surrender, Cora quickly turns the tables, taking down 2 soldiers with skillful moves. It becomes clear that Cora is highly skilled in combat and has no hesitation facing a group of privates. Using their own weapons against them and even creating distractions with thrown dirt, Cora systematically defeats each soldier. When a man is about to shoot her, Ares intervenes, eliminating the threat. Following that, Marcus tries to shoot at Cora, but she quickly disarms him, overpowering him and delivering a fatal shot to his head. With Marcus out of the way, Cora and Ares can now team up to surround Faunus. However, Faunus, holding Sam hostage, prevents them from taking immediate action. In this critical moment, Jimmy arrives, and Faunus orders him to eliminate the rebels. Surprisingly, Jimmy, after picking up a gun, looks at Sam and chooses to kill Faunus instead. After this unexpected turn, Jimmy runs away, and the townspeople arrive just in time to see Cora deal with a surviving soldier. She announces her intention to help them in the fight but emphasizes the need to gather more allies first. Reflecting on the past, Gunnar had previously sold some of their harvest to the rebels. As a result, he offers to accompany Cora to the city to meet his contact and recruit additional support. Before they leave, Hagen gives Korra the special gun he found on her ship. Korra and Gunnar ride for a while, stopping at night to make camp. Seizing the opportunity, Korra takes a moment to share her personal history. At the age of 9, an Empire army, led by Belisarius, attacked her home planet, causing death and devastation. Despite her people's attempts to resist, Belisarius responded with increased brutality. In a specific evening from her past, Korra managed to steal a gun, but Belisarius discovered her, taunting the young girl. Unable to muster the courage to take a life at such a young age, Korra witnessed Belisarius kill her family and then abduct her, bringing her under his wing. In the subsequent years, Korra underwent training in Motherworld culture and became integrated into their military forces. The authorities promoted the idea that soldiers should find companionship to give them an extra reason to fight. During the war, Korra lost her loved one, leading her to fight relentlessly for revenge. By the age of 18, she had risen to the position of commander. Throughout those years, Korra remained just another pawn in the machinery of their indoctrination, destroying thousands of towns in the service of the same people who had taken her family's lives. The next day, Korra and Gunnar arrive in the city, only to discover that bounty hunters have captured Gunnar's contact. With no other option to reach the rebels, Korra decides they must first find the legendary General Titus before searching for the rebels. Subsequently, the duo enters a tavern, where an offensive alien assumes Gunnar is Korra's slave and tries to buy him. When the alien becomes overly familiar and aggressive, Korra quickly takes control, overpowering him and throwing him against a table. The alien hastily retreats as a mysterious figure named Kai watches from the shadows. Suddenly, Korra announces her quest to find Titus, seeking any available information. A small alien using a human host to communicate informs Korra that Titus is fighting in the Colosseum on a planet named Pollux, indicating the need for a ship to travel there. In an unexpected turn, the offensive alien returns with 3 bodyguards, seeking revenge. An immediate shootout ensues, prompting tavern patrons to seek refuge. Korra skillfully engages in a gunfight with the pursuing bodyguards, systematically eliminating them one by one. Meanwhile, Gunnar struggles against the offensive alien, finding his punches ineffective. Fortunately, Korra intervenes just in time, incapacitating the alien before he can harm Gunnar further. After dealing with the final bodyguard, Korra begins to turn around when the offensive alien attempts a sneak attack from behind. In a timely intervention, Kai steps in and shoots the alien before he can strike. Following this confrontation, Kai loots the deceased individual's pockets and offers to transport the duo to Pollux in his ship, accepting the meager sum of money they have to offer. As they take off, Kai shares that he knows of a warrior who might assist them, leading to an agreement to stop at a different planet first. Meanwhile, aboard the Empire's main ship, Atticus casually enjoys a smoke by directly connecting a pipe to his body. A soldier interrupts to inform him that bounty hunters have captured an informant. Atticus instructs the soldier to bring the informant to him before returning to his tentacle companion. After some time, Korra's group reaches New Wodi and meets rancher Hickman, who owns a slave named Tarek. In the past, Tarek fought against the Empire but was captured and enslaved. Despite his desire to fight again, Tarek owes Hickman a considerable amount for his freedom. Hickman proposes a wager. If Tarek can tame a creature called Benis, he will be allowed to leave. However, if he fails, Korra and her companions must become slaves. They agree to the bet, and Tarek approaches the Benis, which violently shakes its body to free itself from chains. Tarek adopts a non-threatening stance, speaking in his native language to empathize with the Benis, emphasizing their shared experience of being taken from their homes and put in chains. Through kind words, Tarek forms a bond with the Benis, ultimately freeing it and riding it in flight. However, the Benis struggles with having a rider, leading to near crashes against rocks. At one point, Tarek falls off the creature near the edge of a cliff. Swiftly recovering, he executes a remarkable jump to land back on top of the Benis. Together, they resume their flight, with Tarek now able to guide the creature more smoothly. Returning to the ranch without any further issues, Tarek is granted permission to leave with Korra and her group. In an unexpected turn, Hickman attempts to ride the Benis himself. However, the creature rejects him, throwing him off and ultimately killing him with its claws. Impressed by Tarek's skill, Kai offers to take Korra to more warriors who might aid their cause. Shortly afterward, they arrive at Dagus and encounter Sword Mistress Nemesis, who is engaged in a personal mission. Nemesis pursues Harmada, a spider-like alien seeking vengeance against the Empire. Harmada's children were killed by the Empire, and she has kidnapped a human child in search of justice. Attempting to reason with Harmada, Nemesis explains their shared pain of losing loved ones to the Empire. However, Harmada remains unyielding, initiating an attack. Using her swords, Nemesis skillfully dodges or blocks Harmada's legs, even managing to sever one. This forces Harmada to release the kidnapped child. Gunnar rescues the girl, but Harmada knocks down Nemesis and stabs her arm. Nemesis retaliates by severing another of Harmada's legs. Harmada knocks Nemesis down again and tries to attack Gunnar and the child. Quickly, Nemesis counterattacks by stabbing Harmada from behind and activating her blades. Sliding down, Nemesis hits Harmada's spider body and stabs her humanoid torso with both swords. After this intense fight, Nemesis joins the group, and they continue their journey. During their journey, Gunnar and Cora have a heartfelt moment, leading Cora to share more about her past. She was Belisarius's adopted daughter, living a privileged life and serving in the royal guard. Her duty was to protect a princess with the power to bring beings back to life. Cora feels guilty for not saving the princess during an attack. Eventually, they reach Pollux and visit the arena where many warriors meet their end daily. General Titus is in a bad state, needing help to shower, although he strongly protests. In the past, Titus served as a commander, but after his army was ambushed due to his attempt to surrender, he fell into deep depression. Initially hesitant to fight, Titus changes his mind when Cora offers him a chance for revenge. At the same time, bounty hunters bring the rebel contact to Atticus, who promises to let him go if he shares important information. The contact discloses that the Bloodaxe siblings are protected by King Levitica in Sharon, but after getting the details, Atticus kills him. Soon after, Cora's team reaches Sharon and meets King Levitica, who agrees to arrange a meeting with the rebels. Before too long, the Bloodaxe siblings and their rebel army arrive. Cora updates them on the upcoming battle, acknowledging the slim chances of success. She points out that her people have consistently supported the rebels with food, urging them to reciprocate by defending her people. Darian, the brother, agrees to help and delivers an inspiring speech, rallying volunteers from his army. A few rebels willingly join Darian after his speech. The group then leaves with their new allies, and Kai expresses his desire to help in the fight. However, he mentions having some deliveries to complete, and Cora agrees to make one final stop before heading home. Shortly after their departure, Atticus and his forces find Levitica and destroy his kingdom. In defiance, Levitica refuses to cooperate, leading Atticus to kill him with his cane. As the army continues causing chaos, Atticus learns the location of the rebels from a message. A few hours later, the team arrives at Gondoval and helps Kai unload cargo on a bridge. Cora watches Kai interact with the locals and senses trouble when an Empire spacecraft hidden nearby starts firing, causing significant damage to their ships. Soon after, a group of robots ambushes the team, capturing most of them. To everyone's surprise, Kai reveals his true intentions. He knew all along that Cora is a wanted ex-commander, and orchestrated their gathering to hand over legendary wanted warriors to the Empire for a big reward. Shortly, Atticus arrives with his men, disarming Cora as Kai forces Gunnar behind her. Kai explains that Gunnar, being just a farmer, will be spared if he kills Cora. Gunnar pretends to go along with it, lifting his weapon as if to shoot Cora, but at the last moment he turns and shoots Kai instead. In the chaos, Cora quickly subdues a guard, takes his gun, and evades Atticus's men as they open fire. In the ensuing battle, Cora fights hard, managing to detonate a box, causing a massive explosion that pushes her enemies away. Gunnar takes the opportunity to free the captured warriors, and Nemesis joins the fight, slashing through enemies with her blades. Meanwhile, Darian forcefully pushes a soldier off the bridge and directs his men to gather the surviving ships amid the chaotic battle. In the midst of the heightened conflict, Tarek, Titus, and Gunnar arm themselves and provide cover for Nemesis as she relentlessly attacks. Atticus orders his hidden spacecraft to appear, unleashing a barrage of fire on the rebel ships. Faced with this imminent threat, Darian bravely fights his way up the bridge with a metal bar, attempting to stab the pilot of the enemy ship. After a challenging struggle, he succeeds in killing the enemy, but sacrifices his life in the process, causing the ship to descend towards the bridge. Enraged, Cora abandons her hiding spot, running across the bridge and firing at random soldiers as she approaches Atticus. Suddenly, the descending ship causes significant destruction to the bridge. Atticus secures himself on a floating platform amid the chaos. Cora, unexpectedly appearing behind him, engages in a brutal hand-to-hand fight, exchanging relentless punches. After an intense brawl, Atticus delivers a powerful punch, sending Cora off the platform. However, she cleverly clings to a rope at the last moment. Taking advantage, Atticus disconnects the rope, forcing Cora to hold onto it with her hand and then using it as a whip. This move makes Atticus fall before Cora climbs back up. The intense fight continues, with Cora using the rope to counter Atticus's cane, ultimately breaking it and using a shard to stab him in the leg. Weakened, Atticus struggles, prompting Cora to break his arm and drive the cane into his chest before pushing him off the platform. After their triumph, Tarek uses more rope to pull the platform towards the bridge, rescuing Cora from her precarious situation. Having survived the intense conflict, the remaining team members leave together, returning to Veld. There, they prepare to defend the farming community against potential future challenges. Nearby, Jimmy, with weird horns in its head, observes their actions. Meanwhile, the opposing forces retrieve Atticus's lifeless body. Instead of resorting to conventional healing methods, they choose to open his body to integrate him into the Neuralink, revealing that Atticus is indeed a cyborg. Submerged in water, Atticus's consciousness appears before Belisarius, who scolds him for his failure while forcefully striking the ice with his cane. Belisarius instructs Atticus to capture Cora alive for a personal confrontation. Eventually, Belisarius breaks the ice, sending Atticus's consciousness back into his cyborg body. However, the medical team finds no noticeable brain activity, prompting them to administer an exceptionally potent shot to revive him. Atticus screams in agony as he wakes up. See you in our next film, Flash. Thank you for watching.